Hello, I didn't think I'd be doing a video like this at any point. Before I start, first and foremost, I just want to say I want to go into this subject with only positivity. I do not want it to be a negative reflection on any company, any party. This is just intended to be a conversation starter and bring up a subject that pops up pretty frequently within the cosplay community, but I haven't really seen discussed in a format like this. So yes, I do not want any hate sent to companies or anything like that, because that's not the way to go about it. We just want to educate. So as you can tell by the title, we need to talk about gaming companies sharing cosplay content. As I said, this is a subject that pops up really frequently, but as it's something that's happened to me again this week, it has brought to light a lot of the concerns that always pop up when this happens. And it's really important that we do talk about it. And like I said, this isn't in a way to criticise necessarily, it's to educate and share different perspectives of why tagging and appropriate credit is so important for us as creators, as smaller creators. Obviously, I'm not talking about the big gaming companies themselves of like a couple of million followers and the cosplayers that do endorsed work that are paid by the company. I'm talking about us smaller creators who just do this for fun, and we don't have this big following. And I'll get into why it's so important. So what happened and why am I making this video? If you follow me, you would see that I converse with companies quite a bit in a way that I really love engaging with them on Twitter and Instagram, and whenever I share things, I'll always tag the appropriate company. And again, if you know me, you know that Jak and Daxter is my little shrine up there, and like Last of Us and Naughty Dog are a massive influence in my life. You know, they're one of the major companies that got me into wanting to go into the game development industry, playing Jak and Daxter when I was younger. It's a reason why I was like, I want to do this, I want to make things. So it's like my favourite company, you know, one of them now. And what happened? Well, my Ellie cosplay was shared by Naughty Dog. I'm very appreciative. Again, I just want to reiterate, this is not meant to be criticism in a negative way. This is not meant to be hateful or anything like that, and I cannot stress enough how grateful I am for every company that has ever shared my work and every other cosplayer's work, because, you know, that's what we strive to be noticed by you guys, and we strive to add to that love of the community and visualise that. So yes, this Ellie picture was shared by Naughty Dog. Obviously this picture is by the incredible Carlos Adama. I believe that's how you pronounce it, Carlos. You're probably going to tell me off, I've probably pronounced that wrong. From our Last of Us shoot we did last year, organised by Samuel Triggs. I'll pop a few photos in that up on screen. Yeah, this shot is one of my absolute favourites that Carlos got. It's so cool, and as soon as he shared it, I just fell in love with it, like in the chat, and I was like, oh my god, that's me. You know, I love Ellie. If you know me, if you've seen the BBC Three documentary I was in, you would know I really like Ellie. Now, Naughty Dog have a system where you can submit cosplay pictures to be shared. I don't specifically remember sharing this one, but I must have done, because it's the same caption that I put on my social medias, so I must have submitted it a while ago. So you can submit and they'll post, and sometimes they'll post it. Now, this isn't the first time I've been shared by Naughty Dog. I was shared back, I think it was not last year, the year before. They shared my Jak cosplay from Jak and Daxter, whoop! That was a really cool experience, because Jak and Daxter doesn't get nearly enough love, especially from Naughty Dog. That was a really cool experience, because that was like a childhood dream cosplay. But the issues kind of started from there personally for me, in the way that they shared my cosplay and they tagged me, but they didn't tag my photographer. And if you're a cosplayer, you're doing a collective sigh right now, because you know how important it is that every party involved with an image, be it the photographer, if you've commissioned something, you as the cosplayer, credit is vital. Credit is, you know, that image wouldn't exist without every one of those parties. So they shared me, they tagged me, but they didn't tag Laughing Orc, the photographer. So I was really happy it was shared, but then when I was sharing it, I was like, can you guys please tag James? Go follow James, you know, go give him love. And that was I was very happy it was shared, but it was very much, it kind of sold the experience in a little way that I knew that James was upset it hadn't tagged him, and rightfully so, you know, that image literally wouldn't exist without him, and my cosplay wouldn't look as good as it did without him. So that's where the issues kind of started, in the way that was the first time I was shared majorly by a big company, because people loved that. The comments on that post were nothing but positive. I had so many kind people and really good interaction, and at the time it wasn't too much of an issue that they hadn't tagged me properly in the way that I'm going to talk about, because they hadn't linked my page directly. Now, and by that I mean the difference of writing cosplay by Opal Ink Cosplay and cosplay by @Opal Ink Cosplay with a direct link to my page. And that doesn't give the viewers, the millions of viewers of that image, that doesn't give them a direct link to me, and that's an issue in the way that all of these people that see this company pop up constantly, if they see that, like, oh, they'll quickly click on it. People aren't going to take the time to search up a creator. And yeah, I'm going to go more into that in a minute. But back to the Ellie photo that was shared this week. So again, I forgot I'd even submitted it. I must have submitted it like a couple of months ago. And I suddenly got a tag on Twitter, a friend of mine going, "Oh my god, Abby, look!" So I hadn't even seen it, and then suddenly I got tagged and I was like, oh, what's this? And I clicked on it and it was like, oh, Naughty Dog have shared my thing, and they were so lovely about it. The caption was really kind, saying I left them speechless, which was really lovely, and I was just very blown away. I was like, oh my god, wow. And an instant thing I noticed was that they'd tagged Carlos as the photographer, which is then when I remembered that I had submitted it, because I remember writing in the caption specifically, please remember to tag the photographer. So instantly I was really like, oh, awesome. They took that on board, and they've, especially from me, because I have noticed that other cosplayers that they share, they don't tag the photographer, which always kind of like irked me a bit, which is why it kind of put me off ever sharing more with Naughty Dog, because I didn't ever want to upset the photographer by them not being shared, and it would upset me too and soil the whole experience. So yes, that was on Twitter, and I was like, oh my god, awesome. And then I saw it on Instagram as well, that they posted it, and then Facebook, because obviously I follow Naughty Dog on all social media, so they post it on all of their socials. Now, with Twitter tagging, it's a bit, I can kind of understand not directly tagging a creator in the post, in the way that every time someone replies, retweets it, whatever, it will almost always tag you. So obviously me, as a creator with just over 1,000 followers on, I say just over 1,000, I think I'm nearly 2,000. I've completely lost track of all my followers in the past week for various reasons. But anyway, with not many followers, if obviously Naughty Dog with over 1 million followers suddenly share my thing and I'm being tagged and mentioned in everything, it can be very overwhelming, and I can kind of understand it with Twitter. But with Instagram, it's very different in the way that you don't get direct notifications every time someone engages with a post you're tagged in. And the Instagram post is kind of what got me most in terms of not being tagged. Obviously I saw it shared on Instagram, and it was, cosplay by Opal Ink Cosplay, photography by Carlos and Adama. I was like, awesome, cool. All that it was missing was the little A symbol, and they could have found our pages. This is where the issue comes in. I have on Instagram, what do I have now? I have 4,800-ish followers at the time of this video. Naughty Dog have 1.1 million followers. Okay. Sharing that photo onto Instagram, all they had to do was add the little @ symbol, and I would pop up instantly. We have the same names on every social media, both myself and Carlos, with the same on every social media that they've shared the picture on. On my cosplay posts with Ellie, I average sort of 300 to 400 likes-ish. On my Ellie pics. Sometimes I can go up to sort of 700 if the algorithm sort of picks it up. That Ellie picture that they posted on Instagram is sitting just under 80,000 likes. On Facebook, which I have under 1,000 followers on my Facebook page, their Naughty Dog Facebook is sitting at just under 5,000 likes, and then Twitter is about 7,000. And when you look at that comparison, especially Instagram, of me reaching sort of about 400 likes per Ellie post versus them posting it and getting 80,000 likes. If they had added our names, the growth would have been phenomenal. And it's not about, I want to be very clear, I'm not making this video about followers and likes and reaching people in the way of popularity. I'm making this in the way of creators trying to get their work out there. I want to do promotional work one day. That's what I want to, in my cosplay career, at least once. I want to do promotional work for a company where, you know, a new game's coming out, you make the costume, you do a photo shoot to promote it, just because cosplay is such a massive influence now in the gaming industry. Naughty Dog not putting a direct link to my page is really damaging in the way that people have actively said on the post that they couldn't be bothered to search us up. Like, people have actually said that, like our CBA to search them up, because there's not a direct link to our pages. And other creators started noticing this and started tagging us, Carlos and I actually, in it, our pages, which we didn't ask for, you know, didn't ask for it at all, but people just started being like, oh, it's a bit weird you didn't like tag the creators, because we both kind of were like, oh, we didn't even know it was posted, you know? So I think there's something like 300 to 400 comments on that post, and I'd say over half of them are people asking Naughty Dog to tag us. And because those people tagged us, those random small creators tagged us, I gained about 150, nearly 200 followers in the past 3 days on Instagram. Now, imagine if Naughty Dog, the page with 1.1 million followers, had tagged me. And that's where it comes in of the difference between the companies taking this on board and realising their influence within the sub-communities of their larger fandoms. If people really like that photo, and they really like that visualisation of me as a cosplayer and that style of photography, we could have had some really good growth from that, and we could have got jobs from, like, even if it's just small things. You know, I've had a few sponsorships before from companies, just little ones. I've never done like full cosplay work, but I did like a little campaign for Borderlands on TikTok, and that's just because I had a little bit of reach on there, and it's just because the right person saw it. Now, I'm not going to get that promo work unless people know my name. And I'm speaking not just as me, as any cosplayer. Unless there's appropriate credit and appropriate link to your page, people aren't going to have a direct way to find you. Now, if you're a cosplayer or any kind of, you know, influencer on social media, you will know that the algorithm on every social media is screwed. It is so difficult to get any reach nowadays. You know, Instagram doesn't do chronological anymore. Likes mean nothing for the most part. Sharing and tagging and saving posts is what gets you reach, you know? Likes don't really mean anything. And I, as a creator, I have, like I said, nearly 5,000 followers on Instagram. Now, I just want to talk about social media statistics a little bit. I have nearly 5,000 followers on Instagram. I average, I'd say, about, if I'm lucky, 300 likes a post. Not even that sometimes. And then sometimes I'll get a post that has like 800 likes. It's kind of on and off, again, whatever the algorithm's deciding to do that day. But bear in mind, if I get 300 likes on that post, when I go into my statistics, it's something ridiculous that 60% of the audience that have liked that post are not of my followers, and only about, I want to say about 30% of my actual audience have seen that content on their feed. So it is so difficult to get reach, and it's the same with TikTok. I have nearly 76,000 followers on TikTok, and I average 50 likes a video on that, because TikTok is really punishing cosplayers at the moment. If you tag any video as cosplay, it will just not get shared. It will not get on the For You page. And we, as small creators, cannot do anything about that. We cannot do anything about that. You know, it's whatever the social media decides they want to be the way that content is shared. So when you have these big companies that have this influence, it is so important that proper credit is given, because you're gonna really help those smaller creators. And really good examples of this, I want to talk about a couple of other companies. Again, this is not a competition, I'm not trying to say any company is better. The three that I'm going to mention, I all love equally. This is not me trying to like pin them against each other. But a couple of companies that I've had really good experiences with their social media managers, their community managers, and the way that they've shared has obviously been Santa Monica Studio for God of War and Guerrilla Games with Horizon Zero Dawn. First and foremost, obviously Santa Monica Studio, when we shared our God of War work, the team were nothing but lovely. The devs were really interactive. You know, all the devs were really interactive, and they're really interactive with the fandom in general, which is great. And the social media manager, in my time that I've been following them, they've gone through 2 social media managers, both of who have followed me and I've had conversations with. Have been nothing but lovely in the way they've been really interactive with us as fans. Sorry, I got a phone call from a spam company, so that's really annoying. I apologise if the camera's changed at all, because I picked up my phone and my camera to answer, so... But yes, with Santa Monica, obviously our God of War project, after it released, they were nothing but lovely. Like I said, the devs were really interactive. We got sent merch, which was the coolest thing. And the official page, obviously run by the community manager, shared our work constantly directly from us. You know, they retweeted it with quote tweets, so they didn't post it themselves. And there was always appropriate tags, and obviously Twitter's a lot easier in the way that you can directly share someone as opposed to Instagram. But yeah, it's been nothing but great experiences with Santa Monica in the way that they're just really interactive with their community. And it's the same with Guerrilla Games as well. I found that they've started doing a community spotlight, which is awesome. I've had my cosplay work shared by Guerrilla before again, and they tagged both me and my photographer directly, which was fantastic, you know. It is so easy to search up the creators you're sharing and tag them, and it's so important for growth. It just helps us in a way that probably these bigger companies can't quite comprehend sometimes, if we want to reach a bigger audience of that specific fandom. But I just want to mention Guerrilla Games in the way that Anne, who is the community manager, shout out to Anne, you are absolutely wonderful, and my experiences with you have been brilliant. So my Aloy cosplay was shared, which was awesome, and then they shared my Aloy cosplay in the community spotlight, the first ever one they did, which is basically a video collection of the cosplayers and like the content creators, fan artists and everything, which again is great. Doing a collective sharing of all kinds of community work is amazing. But yeah, they shared the video and they tagged my cosplay page, but they didn't tag the photographer in the specific video, so I commented to Anne, who is the community manager, saying, you know, this is really awesome, but if you could just tag the photographer, and instantly she was like, yep, cool, I will rectify that next time. So it's just really easy, it's been extremely easy to communicate with them, which hasn't been the case with Naughty Dog, which is just, I completely understand Naughty Dog. I can completely understand if they want to stay off social media in the way of engaging with people after the horrifying show that was The Last of Us leaks and just the vitriol that the haters spread. But it's still really important to engage. Obviously, we don't know their community manager, social media position. We don't know if they have someone actually hired to do it, which they should. But it's really important you listen to people, and the fact that hundreds of people commented asking them to tag us, and they still never did on Instagram, specifically where you can edit the original post. I feel like it should be easier to talk to a company, and when they are directly sharing your work, appropriate credit just needs to be there. It needs to be there. And just writing the name out isn't good enough. You need to give a direct link to those creators to give them growth, to give them the growth they need. And I've seen it happen with like Ubisoft as well, especially. They've had quite a lot of... they haven't had the best track record with sharing cosplayers and tagging appropriately. And, I know people who do like amazing Assassin's Creed cosplays and they weren't tagged properly, which... It really affects people in the way that you just sit there and you think, what could have my reach been? How many more people could have seen my costume and known it was me? and seen more of my work and then gone onto my thing and be like, oh, they cosplay that as well, awesome, I'll give them a follow. I really didn't want this to come off as pining, and I don't want this to come off as me begging for attention, because it's not. This is just a conversation that needs to happen. It needs to happen, and we need to call people out, call companies out in the kindest way possible and just let them know. And at the same time, companies then need to engage and accept when they have made those mistakes. I believe it's Ubisoft have a thing called the Mentors Guild now. I'm not completely educated on this, so I may be wrong on some points, but they basically have a group of fans that help with community events. And that's amazing. That's such a good idea, and I really do think that other game companies should take that on board and get more of their content creator fans on board to help with content distribution when sharing original content. Because when you start bringing in people that know how social media works on a smaller level and know, you know, what the proper etiquette of like cosplay and fan art and virtual photography is, everyone learns from it. Everyone learns. And something else I want to bring up is, like, since I don't want to say I went viral. I didn't go viral, but my Ellie cosplay went nuts on Instagram in terms of like the 80,000 likes on the Naughty Dog post, and once people were tagging me, I got a bunch of followers and I had people reposting my Ellie, and there's been multiple articles that have come out of that one picture, and all these smaller articles that have shared us have directly linked our pages. And you know, it's that easy. It's that easy in the end to tag your creators properly. And as I said, the whole thing for me personally is I want to do this as a job at some point. Not full time. I just, at least once in my cosplay career, I want to do promo work. I want to make a costume for a company and do a photo shoot to promote the game. I want to go to an event dressed as the character to promote the game. And unless you are directly put out there in a personal way where you're linked to, people aren't going to find you. People aren't going to find you, and it's, yeah, that's kind of the gist of it. I hope this came across better than I think it has. I really didn't want to make a video like this at any point, and I don't want this to be negative. I want this to end on a good note, and I want this to end in me saying I so appreciate every company that shares any content, you know, even if there isn't appropriate tags. Just engaging with your community is so important, and learning how to properly engage with them and share them. And I can't, Naughty Dog aren't going to see this, you know, no one from Naughty Dog is going to see this, but if anyone ever did, you know, I can't thank you guys enough for sharing my Ellie and getting it out there, because The Last of Us is like such an important game for so many of us who have gone through similar things and similar emotions as Ellie. So we want to put that love back out there. Yeah, just spread the love, spread the... It's kind of it, really. Yeah, I'm gonna stop talking because otherwise I'll keep going, but I hope this came across better than I hope it did. Thank you so much for watching if you have the whole way through. If you have any points or any similar experience, I'd love to hear about them down in the comments, because again, I think this is a really important conversation that needs to happen, and the more we normalise this kind of stuff and mutually tagging creative parties when sharing content, I think the more we will find the appropriate tags and stuff is given, you know, and the more communities will engage with each other. Yeah, that's kind of the gist, really, in the way that I think communities will just get closer together if we can all find each other easier. But yeah, I'm gonna shut up. Again, thank you so much for watching if you've watched this the whole way through. I really appreciate you all being here, and if you're here from like the Ellie picture especially, and my Ellie cosplay being shared, thank you so much. Any engagement with any of my content is just so appreciated. You guys make this a genuine pleasure to do, so thank you so much. And yeah, I will see you on the next video. I will get back to normality after this, I promise, but thank you so much for watching, and remember to stay safe and look after yourselves.